This is not the story. I'm not telling the story of the scroll. This is the gloss. Now remember, there's a difference. The gloss is nonfiction. I'm not storytelling. I'm talking about the telling of the pergola pump. And in a way, this is an emergency gloss. In a way, it could go along and you could take the commentary or not. Uh, but I felt like I better speak up about this. And remember, this is true. In my story, I recently created two new characters. I had not anticipated them, but I saw a use for each one of them. Not important, but nonetheless a use. The one was Andrew Snyder, a young, or not compared to Violet, a much younger man, who I created as an admirer of Violet. I just thought it would be a nice touch and perhaps a useful character. He's a curator at the Museum of Arts and Crafts in Richland, North Virginia. And I thought I might be able to do something with him. So I had created him. And I had him come to the moot point. This is Saturday night. All right, now, then I also created another character, and this was a fiancée for the schoolmarm. Her name is Gladys Diversey, uh, and Edgy had noticed that she was wearing an engagement ring, and I thought it would be of interest to have her character develop if she came, that she'd been there Friday. She has a role to play anyway, but it would be more interesting if she came and brought her fiancé along. Uh, and his name is Austin T. Wright. And there's where the trouble came in a way, because I planted there the name of a real person, Austin Tappan Wright. Now, he didn't actually say, I don't think that was his name, but he, when Edgy noticed how close it was to Austin Tappan Wright, he mentioned the book Islandia, which is a real book. That man is a real author. You can look him up. And in a way, I was kind of playing with my listeners to see if they would check on this. I didn't name the book. The book is called Islandia, and it's a very good book indeed, and deserves to be much more famous than it now is. So I had put that in there, and the character, Austin T. Wright, he said yes, he was a direct descendant of Austin Tappan Wright. Well, of course, this is fiction. I was just making this up. But I thought, well, let's see what my listeners will see if they go to the bother to check on this. I purposely didn't name the book. He only wrote one novel, Islandia. I was going to name it later, but I purposely didn't name it yet because I wanted to tantalize my hearers, my listeners a little bit. But when I looked, sure enough, there was Austin Tappan Wright, and as I knew and would explain in the novel, he was killed tragically young, and ironically in a car accident. I say ironically because his book Islandia is often considered a utopia, and it's about a place that does not have cars. Well, that I think was in 1931, and the book didn't become popular until 1942 or 43. It's a very interesting story, and I guess I don't know how much of it I'll work into the novel. Uh, but it was fiction, what I was saying, that he had this descendant who was working on a sequel to it and had the same name. That was made up. Well, here when I looked, Austin Tappan Wright, he was killed, but apparently he had descendants. Or not apparently, he did have descendants. And he has a grandson named Austin Tappan King. That's a grandson. And this man has a little bit of fame himself as a writer. or maybe a lot of fame, I don't know. He's a writer, he's currently living, he lives near Tucson. For all I know, he might have children. So Austin Tappan Wright may well have grandchildren or great-grandchildren. And here I'm writing fiction about a great-grandchild of Austin Tappan Wright. That's awkward because fiction is not true. So what am I going to do now? It's published because I put it online. I guess I could pull it off. But I think I'm going to try to contact the current the man living now, Austin Tappan King. He goes by Tappan King, I think. I may try to call him or contact him just to explain what a peculiar thing this is that's happened, and share admiration for his true grandfather's book. I may do that, but I think I'm also probably going to have to find a way for the character in the novel to cover for himself or lie his way out of his statement that he was a descendant. I'm just not sure. If you have ideas, let me know.